Welcome, John.
Merlin, yeah, all right.
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming to talk to us.
It's all right.
For the benefit of the viewers and listeners, do you want to give us all an introduction to yourself?
Am I looking at you then? Yeah.
You can look at me, you can look at the camera, you can look wherever you like.
So I'm John Steele. I've been a photographer for the last 20 years, and I have a business called John Steele Photography. It took me ages to come up with that. Marketing genius side. Yeah. So that's who I am, basically.
20 years. So what were you doing before you were a photographer?
I hide it well. I was a gym instructor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a gym instructor for Leeds City Council. But I did 2 degrees because I never knew what I wanted to be. So I got a business degree, which I'm useless at. And then I did a sports degree because I was always like a skateboarder.
All right, okay.
So
yeah.
and I wanted to go into like sports development. So I kind of ended up in the sports development unit, but there were no jobs. So they says, "Oh, go work in gym." And that happened for 5 years. And I was like, "I'm not a yes man, so I'm not going anywhere." So yeah.
So how did you get into photography then?
I had a friend. So when I was at uni doing my sports degree, I did an events management module, and I had to come up with an event, run the event, and yeah, just do everything around this event. And I came up with Smiley Culture. Which, at the time I was Smiley John, a skateboarder, and so it was a skateboard stroke art show.
Right, okay.
It was brilliant. Like we had like all these like mental events, but in planning that, I had a friend who was a photographer. I said, "Oh, can you come and take some pictures?" So I came up, take some pictures, and then like a couple of days later, I went to go see the pictures. And I walked into his house, and he had his Mac computer, and he had this picture of like Whitby. I was like, "Oh wow, where'd you download that?" I was like, "Oh, I took it at weekend." I was like, "Right, I want to be a photographer." This camera and like kind of just learned from there.
You learned from that?
Yeah.
You don't know official kind of
No.
nothing. You just
YouTube.
Oh, really?
No, it's just going out and learning. So he taught me the basics, and then it was like kind of going out. And then I used to work for Leeds City Council as like a gym instructor, and on my days off, I'd go out and photograph events for Leeds City Council, and they'd had a photographer, but I'd come and
Do extra.
yeah, just kind of do bits and pieces. I enjoyed it so much more than actually working in the gym because I was just bored.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like it turned out that I was earning more money on the day that I was actually doing kind of on my day off, doing events and enjoying it more than I were rest at week at gym. So I was like, right, let's be a professional photographer. So one day I'm a gym instructor, next day I'm a professional photographer.
So what did you do from that next year becoming a photographer?
Like, I've no idea. I've been panicking since. Like, so first, like, I had a couple of like sort of businesses, and I was doing stuff for Leeds City Council. But of course, I left Leeds City Council. They didn't want to use me, so that scuppered my plans somewhat. And then, like, I had to photograph like objects on a white background for a company, which was like horrible. And then someone says, "Oh, right, join BNI." So I joined BNI, which was the worst thing in the world. So yeah, and then it's just like trying to build up and like work things out. And then whilst I was at BNI, someone gave me the worst advice ever. Is like, right, okay, every time someone comes out, you've got to bring your camera for every meeting, everything you do, bring your camera. That's your business card. So every event I'd go photograph this event, and then what happened is everyone thought I did everything for free. So then I had to go into hiding for 2 years because it's like John does everything for free. It's great, but like yeah. So
How not to market yourself?
oh, don't do that. That's the worst advice I ever got. Yeah. Thanks, Rick.
So have you done any other like formal kind of training or courses or anything for doing your own business, setting up your own business or anything?
Apart from a business degree, then no.
You've just
I'm useless at business. I've always been useless at business. Like, I know that if I was better at business and like money and like all that, I'd be much better than I am because it's the photography I find easy.
Right.
I can do it stood on my head. It's like that's the easy bit, that's the fun bit, but it's the marketing, the sales, the everything else. That's the bit I struggle with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just getting to know folk, isn't it? And it's looking after people. And if you do a good job, people pass your details on. And usually, I've kind of lived on referrals for the last 20 years, like word of mouth. So
Maybe your freebies that you've done for people in marketing and stuff like that, maybe they could be doing some freebies for you.
they could do, but I'm not one of them people that'll ask for anything. Like I do a lot for other people, but I never ask. And I feel bad if someone gives me something. So I'm just that sort of person. But no, obviously, I like kind of a couple of years ago, I made the kind of like decision not to do anything for free because it doesn't help anyone, does it? Well, it helps the people who are getting nice pictures, but it's not helping me, and I haven't got time to be doing stuff for free.
So what has it changed much being a photographer in the last 20 years?
Oh yeah, massively. Like I started when digital was a thing, so it wasn't film that I started on. But now cameras are getting so much better, technology is getting so much better, AI is there, and it means that everyone can be a photographer if they want, and they think they can be a photographer, and they just play at it. But then what happens is everyone starts doing it, the market becomes saturated, the price is driven down, the quality is driven down, and it ruins it for everyone. Like it's just a race at bottom, isn't it? It's like when COVID hit, everyone then started to be a personal brand photographer, and it's just what happened is it cheapened the whole thing. I've been photographing. Wasn't even a thing, personal brand. I used to go out, call them environmental portraits and stuff. I've been photographing that for like the last 20 years, but like now it seems to be a bit bland. It's taken like what was quite an interesting subject and people have made it quite a bit weird.
Well, and what do you think that is? Do you think that's people starting to find a interest in photography, or is that accessibility to photography through their smartphones and stuff?
I think it's social media. I think social media is everything, isn't it? It's like no one's away from a camera now, are they? Like, you walk around with your camera in your pocket and like everyone just likes, social media, and they're looking at all these influencers and everything else, and they just copy. And I think I don't like what social media has done. I think it's the worst thing we've ever had, to be honest.
I think with from a design perspective, things like Canva.
Yeah, well, if you can use Canva, you're a graphic designer now, aren't you?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. It's like if you can like put a filter on Instagram, you're a photographer.
Yeah.
But again, it's like filters. It's like now if I'm standing at a wedding fair, people come up to me and go, "Oh wow, we love your pictures and stuff," and it's like, will you be able to filter me? I was like, well, #no filter. Sorry. And it's and it's like all these trends as well at the moment. Like you look at pictures and like the grass is brown, and like in 5 years' time you'd be like, hold on, why is the grass brown on the pictures? But it's all these like filters and stuff. It's like a few years ago, everyone's wedding pictures were like yellow and green. There's a vintage, but like 5 years down, it's like, why are my pictures green? I'm sure they didn't look like that, but you see something, people just follow, don't they? They're a bit sheep, and I go the other direction, mate. So
and I think that with something like Canva as well, is that it has all these great templates that people can easily use. But the problem is everyone else is using the same kind of templates.
Yeah.
So when you're scrolling through social media and you're looking for, and people are trying to use it for their ads.
Yeah.
You scroll past it because you think it's the same one as you've seen 10 scrolls before, and it's something different, and and I think that's the problem with this kind of thing, is that people, it's accessible for people, but they're not using it in the right way that represents what they're doing and the brand and that kind of stuff. And I always think that no matter how creative I am, no matter how I try with my smartphone and take good pictures, it's never as good as when you see a photographer's end result.
No,
It's never.
no. But I could go out with a smartphone and take really good pictures because I understand it. I understand the light, moment, composition, the things that make a good picture.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's usually the light, you know. If you get good light on a picture, even if it's with your phone, it stands out, you know.
Yeah.
I have a thing like in my head is like every picture I post, I want to stop people scrolling.
Yeah.
I want people to like go, oh, even for like that fraction of a second to go, oh, that's different, you know. But I have my tagline at the moment is photographs that get attention. And you know, that's what I want people to do because we live in this world where people do not have attention spans. They don't read anything, they don't do anything. It's just like scroll, oh, look. Right, even if I get that fraction of a second, that means I've done something, or my client might have a chance of someone looking at them or contacting them. So, yeah.
So, would you class yourself as a business owner or a freelancer? How would you?
I'm both really. I'm a freelance photographer. That's how I always describe myself. But I'm a business owner. At the day, I have to do everything.
Yeah.
Like pretty much, I wear all the hats. Like the only thing I don't really do is accounts because I'm not very good with money. So I just send that off to an accountant. But all my marketing, everything else is just me.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And what do you struggle with the most in your kind of day-to-day photography stuff?
That is selling and marketing. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I always see there's two kind of different sorts of creatives. There's your creatives who are very, very good at doing what they do, but they're very quiet, they're introverted, they're not very good at blowing their own trumpet. And then there's the ones that aren't very good, but they're great at selling themselves. Like, they're always on like stories and like, oh, look at this, I've just done this most amazing shot, it's amazing, you should see. And I'm not that person, I'm the first person. So a lot of other people do my selling.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. It's like I've run my business for the last 20 years on word of mouth and referral. Whereas at the moment, I'm trying to actually look at ways of doing more marketing, going out and getting the work. And it's also knowing your customers as well.
Yeah.
Because like you change, like now I'm working for some bigger businesses and it's easier. Like they don't want moon on a stick for a tenner.
Yeah.
Like they want you to do a good job and they're happy to pay that, and they're not chasing you like the 10 minutes after your pictures have been taken for your picture. That's like, so it's knowing who your target market is and everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it all comes down to marketing, but there's so much to do.
Yeah. And have you thought about getting someone to do your marketing for you?
I do think about it, but then I go, like, no one knows me as much as I know me. It's like my ex-wife, we've tried not to talk about her too much, which is extra reason. But she says, oh, John, you're not very good at writing. She told me I wasn't very good at writing, so she says, you can't write blogs, you can't put anything on social media, so anything you've got to do, I've got to check, and then she'd rewrite it, but she'd take my voice out of it.
Yeah.
And then what happened is people were like, John, your content's a bit bland. I was like, yeah, it is. It's like, it doesn't sound like you. And then someone says, look, we're not reading your stuff, really, are we? We're looking at your pictures.
Yeah.
But then the way I phrase things anyway is very me. It's like when I'm scheduling kind of social media for Instagram and Facebook, a lot of times it's just one caption, one word, or like a couple of words, but it's me. It's like my humour.
Yeah.
And people get that. So
yeah.
And I find a lot of marketing people are just very, they don't know your business, and then it's very, it's very cookie cutter sort of. There's the template. This is what we're going to use, and that's not me. No. I have to have my personality in it. So.
Yeah, and I think it's about getting the balance right with your personality, but also getting the formula right for the process, because if certain
the process is everything. Yeah. And that's what happened is like I kind of fell out of my process, and then I've never got it back. So my process was I'd go out, I'd do the shoot, I'd edit the shoot, get the client. So I'd get everything for the client all sorted. That's number one. And then it's like my marketing. And so I'd kind of blog the pictures, but from that I'd choose the best pictures, and then that'd go to like my social media folder, and that kind of would then kind of be my social media feed as well. But I fell out of that for a few months, and I've never got it back really.
Yeah.
Back a little bit, but yeah.
And which platforms do you use for your marketing?
Well, I've got I've got two Instagrams.
Two.
Yeah, because again, it's like, because I've got different hats. I've got wedding business, and like brides don't want to see like when you've been in a foundry, do they? It's like, oh, it takes amazing wedding pictures, but look at that picture of that furnace. Like, so I have to have two. So I have John Steele Photo, which is my wedding stuff. And again, the wedding stuff is very different. It's all fun, it's emotional. It's not just a bride and groom in a field.
Yeah.
Like, and then I've got.
If they want to be in the field, they can be in the field, right?
They can be in the field. No, but if you look at like other photographers, you go around a wedding fair. I'm at a wedding fair, Royal Armouries, next week. I'm there, and there'll be another 12 photographers at least in that room.
Yeah.
And I've got to have my pictures that stand out from my target market.
Yeah.
And every other photographer have got pictures of brides and grooms in field looking bored, but they've used a bit of flash so it looks fancy. But they're not my customers. My customers are people who want their storytelling and want to have a laugh, and like they want the day documenting them, a documentary wedding photographer.
Yeah.
So like my stand attracts the people that I want it to attract.
Yeah.
My people are very creative, they're introverted, or the people who are like young professionals and just want to get on with the day.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of how I work the social media on that. And then my commercial stuff, again, I use Instagram, I use LinkedIn, I use Marketing Networks, I use Facebook, and it's all scheduled basically. I schedule it on Instagram, which goes onto Facebook. And then once that's been posted, then I'll then take it into LinkedIn just to say, look, hiya, I'm here.
Yeah.
This is the variety I do.
Yeah.
So I don't spend hours on it. Like, kind of once a month, I'll spend the morning and I'll just schedule a whole month's worth of Instagram posts.
So I think what would be worth you trying is actually finding where your target audience are on Instagram, in the sense of what posts or brands would they be looking at.
Yeah.
And then a tip, which I only recently learned, is to go to those posts, look at who's liked them, and follow those people.
Really?
And those people will then, 9 times out of 10, a lot of them will follow you back.
Yeah, sometimes I just think that's a bit obvious, because you see people do it, and then again, it's like, and commenting.
Yeah,
and
it's marketing, it's engagement.
Yeah, it is, but I can't be false.
I know, but it's engagement.
No, I can't play the game. I'm not very good at playing the game. This is it. It's like some people are amazing at playing this game, and some people are just so false with the comments as well. Oh, wow. Like, you're like, no, shut up.
Well, when you're commenting, you don't have to be false. You can still be yourself.
Yeah.
Commenting about something if you like it.
Yeah.
But it's more about attracting the people who you want to attract.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to think about in this game.
Yeah.
Game of things.
Yeah.
If somebody came up to you now and said, look, I'm thinking about becoming a photographer now, what advice would you give them?
Just do it. Honestly. No, like, the best advice you could ever give someone is to, like, niche. Like, if you were going to be a photographer, I'd, like, just learn one thing. So I'd be like, right, whatever it is, whatever random picture it is going to be, become amazing at taking pictures of chair legs.
Yeah.
Because then you're the go-to chair leg person, aren't you? There's no one else that's going to be photographing chair legs like you. So you've only got one product that you're marketing. So you speak to every furniture company and go, like, do you want your chair legs to look best? That's me. Say me. And that's what I've always struggled with. I've had to be honest, like, I've photographed pretty much everything, but I don't like photographing anything that doesn't move or talk now. So I'm a people photographer, and that's how I market myself, and that's sort of my niche. But even that it's not niche enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, do you do personal brands? Are you telling stories? Are you a wedding photographer? Like, are you like a corporate person, are you a PR person, like, even, but it's just, just get known for one thing. Like, there was a guy called Tim Wallace who was just like got so good at taking pictures of cars that every car company used him.
Yeah.
I was like, you're laughing because it's like he was the go-to person.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
When did you discover that taking photographs of people was more your thing?
I've always loved it. It's like I've always had the ability. My superpower is to like get pictures of people that don't like having the pictures taken, because I hate having my picture taken. So I just use like what I don't like and kind of turn that all around and make people feel comfortable, and people feel really comfortable and have a laugh when I'm doing it. And, you know, sometimes, like I say to people before I start, right, ignore everything I've said. It's like, say, in the next hour, it comes out like Tourette's. It's there to make you laugh. It's there to create emotion. It's there to, like, get the best pictures from you. And, you know, there's not many people have not been able to photograph. There's a couple that have been, like, tricky, but, yeah, that's sort of my superpower. And I realised that because I'm looking at people's pictures, and there's nothing there. You don't feel it. Whereas mine, people feel something.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to get. I want to get the real person. I tell you, like, the one person who, we won't name him. I saw him on, like, TV, first of all. He came across as a bit of a numpty. I thought, he's a bit of a numpty. And then I saw him at an event in Bradford, and he came across as an even bigger numpty. I thought, I don't want what to do with this geezer. And then I saw him at an event in Brighouse, and again, I thought, still. Then he sat next to me, and he's like, all right, yeah. Started talking to me. I thought, you're an idiot. Next minute, no, I'm getting emails saying, can you come and photograph me? I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Right. But he had this public-facing, person, this bravado. And then it took me all of 2 minutes to get past that nonsense. I got to the real person, and the real person was someone I really, really liked. And I thought, you're really nice. You're a good guy. Like, get rid of all this numptiness. But I can get past that because I don't, that's a trouble with fools, really. You know, everyone's same. We're all the same, like, in and out. But some of us play this game, and if someone's playing that game, they're not the person for me. And if they don't get past that, then we're not going to get the real pictures.
So, have you got any regrets since going off on your own, doing your own thing?
Yeah, lots. Honestly, like, the way I look at it, I wish I'd have just been working at McDonald's or something. I've been much further in life. I do. It's like the struggle is real. I love what I do, but it's hard. It's hard. Like, the problem with my business is, like, a lot of businesses, they have customers on a retainer, whereas I don't know what's going to happen each month. Like, every month I'm going to go, am I actually going to get some people? And it's so difficult because no one's on retention. So it's literally, you're running a word-of-mouth business for the last 20 years, hoping that people are going to pick up the phone. And I need to be more active going out and getting folk, really.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think my stress levels would be much better if I'd just had a 5 job. Honestly, I do. Yeah, like, and you wouldn't be answering emails at daft o'clock, would you? Or like direct messages.
So you don't set yourself any kind of boundaries on?
I do now, yeah. Because what were happening is I was getting like direct messages at 11 o'clock, kind of. Well, I tell you what, it was worst. I started doing like fitness photography because I thought the fitness photography that is out there at the moment is all a bit bland. It's all a bit same old. Everything's same. No one's like, there's no emotion. There's no any oomph. And I thought, I'm going to photograph these like gym people, and started photographing some people, and they were loving my pictures because they were real. They were documentary pictures. They were like people training. I was like, And then I got all these blooming influencers messaging me at 11 o'clock, didn't I? And like, they'd all be DMing me on Instagram going, yo, bro, your pictures are sick, mate. And I'd be like, oh, thanks. And they'd be going, you need to take pictures of me, mate. I was like, all right. And I'd be like, right, it's X amount. No, bro, you pay me. So I'd be dealing with these numpties at 11 o'clock going, I can't be bothered doing this. So, yeah. All right.
But you must still enjoy it to do it.
I love it. Like some photo shoots I go to, and I think, how am I going to create something out of this? And a lot of times, like, I always say I don't want to photograph on white backgrounds, and I've always said that, but then I get loads of pictures on white backgrounds. But what happens is, like, the client's expectations are on, like, picture on a white background. I've got in mind someone dangling from a tree, and we've got to, like, meet halfway. So sometimes I have to do their safe option first and go, actually, and push people. But it's just when you're working with people, every day is different, isn't it? And that's the fun, really.
So the business side of things, would you prefer someone to actually run that for you?
Yeah, like, honestly, I sometimes think I just wish I were a photographer that someone told me where to go, what to do, and like I'd be aware.
So have you thought about reaching out to somebody to do that for you, to manage the business side of things? No. John Steele?
No, because then I just think, I can do it myself, can't I? It's just...
But that's what you hate.
I hate it, but I do it. No. Well, I don't really do it because people just come to me.
So you must be doing something right.
Yeah, at the moment, like, I'm setting up, I have like a coach, and he was helping me last week. We were setting up MailChimp, and I've just done like a kind of a PDF as a giveaway to try and kind of get people's email addresses and like get a newsletter together. It sounds quite fun, really. So if I can do more of that and get leads that way, because like networking, I'm not really good at that. Because
I don't know. You see, for me, networking isn't. I don't like the network in the sense of how it's actually how the old school networking. No. I just like to talk to people, get to know people, build relationships, build trust.
Should be. Yeah.
And then it doesn't necessarily go anywhere, but potentially what it does mean is I've got a connection of somebody with a different background who I can draw upon for some advice, sound wall.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all you need is just kind of like, I want to rant about this because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all you need from people.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. And like I've always said, like, I want to be in a network where you get to know people, you get to know the real people. It's not just go along, stand in a circle, give a business card out.
But to be fair, though, every time I've seen you, you say you don't like networking. You're the one that's chatting the most.
Yeah, it's usually to a send, though, isn't it? It's usually in the corner, like going, "Hi, John, you all right?" No, like, it's just that initial walking in and like feeling. Once you know folk, then it's a lot easier.
Yeah,
it's, you've got to do it to get to know folk. Yeah.
It's that icebreaker, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I say, it's like probably the last 20 years, my the whole business has been run through the people I know anyway, and I've met. So there's not much business I get kind of just comes from people I don't know.
So what now? What's the next plan? What's the next stage of John Steele Photography? What's the strategy?
Strategy? What's one of them? I might have to come up with a strategy. I think I just want to like get some kind of better, like bigger commercial clients. So I've been doing quite a lot for the village hotels for their gyms of late, and that's been great because like they just go, "Oh, John, like, can you go do a shoot in Blackpool? Can you do that in Manchester? Can you go wherever?" And they don't question anything.
Yeah.
And it's great because, and like, I've got like a new law firm that have been using me a lot, and you know that they're going to have like little bits each month, and that's great because it's not new business coming in all the time.
Yeah.
So I need more clients like that, which I can kind of have more retention, not actually on a retention basis, but people who can want to use me, people who understand like the power of a picture.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because like I was talking to this like legal firm, and sometimes I'm like, I'm biggest critique that there is of my own work, and sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to send these pictures of rubbish. And then like he says, "Oh, did you see that so and so? Like it was front page on Yorkshire Post over there." I was like, "Oh, well, I wasn't even going to send you that picture because I thought it was terrible." And it's got like so much reach, but it always happens. But like,
isn't that like the creative in you, the creative mind? Because I think a lot of creatives, I do it myself, is where you look at your own work and you're just like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm massively creative like that.
Yeah.
What's it called? I could on
Saboteur.
No. Imposter syndrome. That's it. I have it massive.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like, I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be right. And if I don't think it's right, then I don't want to send it. But, you know, no one else is looking at it that closely like I am. So, yeah. But, yeah, I just need to get more, like, bigger clients and understand my worth, really, as well. Because, like, the thing is I've been doing it 20 years. So I find it pretty easy. And so people are hiring me, and this is another thing that came out of like a network meeting that someone said. That says, "John, we're not hiring you for like the hours that it takes you. We're like hiring you to do the job. So if you do it in 10 minutes and get the results we want, we're still happy."
Yeah.
But it's like that. It's like that one where that there's that machine and the person's like, it's broken and they're trying to get technicians in and they're like paying small amounts and no one knows what to do, and then they pay this guy like $1,000 and he comes press one button.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just knowing which buttons to press. And after like 20 years of doing it, I do know that. So,
yeah.
But I have to keep telling myself that because, sometimes I'm like, how can I charge for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, charging, like money's always been a thing with me. Like, charging too less. So I was telling a story over there, and there was a shoot I did, and they wanted ideas to this company, and it was a company called Vegan Business Tribe, and there was like, right, we want something that'll catch attention, like, and I was like, right, okay, why don't you just we turn up somewhere, you bring loads of fruit and you just throw loads of fruit at me, and I'll photograph you like whanging fruit at me. And we turned up like R8 in Huddersfield, and I just like getting people whanging lettuces and peppers at me and stuff. And it took me like half an hour, and the guy even wanted to edit himself, and like, so I sent these pictures to him. And I was like, can I charge what I'm supposed to be charging? I can't charge an hourly rate. The next minute, like, they rang me up going, "Oh, we need to talk to you about your invoice." Or, "Oh, God, I know I shouldn't have charged you that much." She's like, "We're not paying that. We're paying you 3 times as much." I was like, all right. But they saw the benefit. And then it turned out it went into like a front page of a national magazine. Like, people whanging through at me. But... But it just shows, like, I'm my own biggest critic always up there.
Yeah, and I think it's I guess for business owners like you or freelancers like yourself, it's important to have somebody like a coach, external, to I guess to help steer you and keep you on track with the business side of things.
Yeah.
And because I think the imposter syndrome is massive, in a lot of people's minds, but I feel in creatives' minds,
it's massive.
Always,
it's
always there.
Yeah,
and I think that can sometimes be all-consuming.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
and you can stop being productive for days on end because of it. Because if you don't, you end up getting worse and worse.
Oh, it's crippling.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm just sat there going, I can't send these. I can't send them.
Yeah,
I don't like them. Like, no. And then I send them. I was like, oh, these pictures are amazing. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I did it not so long back. I was in like some steelworks, and like my favourite thing, like commercially, is if they say, right, John, we want some pictures that tell us, tell our story about our organisation, tell us who we are, and that's the best thing people can do to me, because it's like I'd go, right, show me around, and then let me off my lead. And I want to capture that business, but usually around people working.
Yeah.
And I'm creating interesting compositions. And I've done this in this steelworks, and I thought the pictures are all right, but I was like, oh, can I send them? Can I send them? And then I sent them to this like media agency, and I was like, oh, these are the best pictures we've ever seen. But again, it's like in my own mind.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you know, I should have maybe used a bit of light in there instead of natural light, but it's crippling. Like,
Yeah, it is.
then you have to like sit on it a couple of days, and then you come back and go,
Yeah.
is it all right? Send. Panic to you or something. And sometimes you don't hear anything. And like, sometimes like, if I don't hear anything, I know it's all right. So, but yeah, I'm terrible for them.
Yeah, because I think it's not like a product saying, here, it costs this much to make, this much to do. Now you're buying the markup, and that's how much it is.
Yeah.
It's your eye, it's your talent, it's your thought process. It's stuff that's hard to grab. That actually sits behind all that.
It's not tangible, is it?
Voice and for.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes when you're in your head already, it's hard to kind of work out, is it really good enough to charge?
Yeah.
Whereas the person who's looking at it sees everything for what it's worth, and you're behind of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it's been interesting, John.
It's been emotional, hasn't it?
It's been emotional. It sounds like it's been emotional for the past 20 years.
Oh, it still is. I've got to go see my coach now.
Tell him about the podcast and get him to watch it.
He has his own podcast as well. Probably wrote me onto another.
He will. I'm sure he will.
I know.
Well, thanks for coming in, John. Good to catch up with you.
Good luck.
Catch up with you again soon.